Imagine that! People being afraid of something that can actually kill them or seriously injure them. Dogs aren't exactly pleasant or kind as living organisms go, and you can easily figure this out just by observing a dog's outward physical appearance. Its structural features, like its teeth and claws, its powerful jaws, and even its nasty disposition. Its hostility and the way it mindlessly barks and charges at anything that comes near it. I don't know about you, but this doesn't exactly scream, "Come hug and cuddle with me."
Remember, you're not safe just because you have some glass between yourself and a dog.
You know, some people don't have dogs, even though you should, but this is what my freaking dog just did. Look, broke the glass. Someone rang the doorbell. She decided to come up and break this glass with her head.
Let's watch that in slow motion.
That's obviously going to cost the owner a pretty penny to fix. It's a miracle the dog had something on its face for a few seconds, covering its eyes. This gave the dog's unsuspecting potential victim just enough time to get the hell out of Dodge. This appears to be one of those massive cane corso monster dogs a lot of people seem to be obsessed with. I will never understand wanting something like that living inside your house.
You were delivering some medicine to the defendant's home.
A pharmacy's house call goes bad.
Before I put the medication at the door, the little kid, 4 years old, opened the door and the dog came out and bit my hand.
What did he say to you?
He didn't even say sorry to me.
And reality is a bitter pill to swallow.
Your dog nipped him.
We're taking the position our dog didn't touch him.
I don't care what your position is.
This is the face of the brutish entity which so many people are inexplicably drawn to. We are surrounded by unpredictable and easily excitable predators. The sound of dog barking is far from inviting, and it is incredibly abrasive. It sounds every bit as menacing as it is. Even with the volume turned down, you can clearly see that these are not friendly creatures. Although they are animals in a strict technical sense, I hesitate to call them that, because no other animal on the planet reacts like this to the mere sight, sound, or smell of a person.
This attack with a dog in Modesto happened on Dauphin Drive this afternoon near Creekwood Drive. CBS 13's Madison Keevy is there with the details. Madison.
A 93-year-old woman parks her car in front of her house after a doctor's appointment. But before she can go from the sidewalk to the grass to her front door, she's taken down by two cane corsos that have bite strength stronger than lions. And neighbors believe if it weren't for them intervening, she may have not survived.
You see her laying there, like, what are you gonna do, walk away?
Blood on the woman's glasses, her cane, and shoes left by her front door. The result of a fear Janice Dendulk has had for months.
I mean, we knew they weren't friendly.
The dogs, two cane corsos, caught on Dendulk's doorbell camera moments before an attack, now under investigation by Modesto PD.
I just opened the door and we left the screen, and they're the two big old dogs, and I'm like, oh, we're not going to answer the door.
She knew their history, growling at neighbors on walks, terrifying sounds overheard from her neighbor's backyard, enough to keep her daughter away.
Once we started hearing them fight each other and try to break down the gate, I wouldn't let her go over there anymore.
Moments after this video, Modesto PD say the dogs went on to attack Dendulk's 93-year-old neighbor. She intervened, throwing the now bloody shoes and heavy planter pots from the yard at the dogs. enough time to pull the woman, injured on multiple parts of her body, inside her home.
The Twin Cities are on another top 10 list, only this is not a good one. According to the U.S. Postal Service, there were 43 dog attacks on mail carriers last year. That's the 10th highest in the nation. As Eric Nelson found out, dogs sometimes make mail delivery a challenge.
If we see a dog outside, we don't even attempt to deliver the mail. We might not even attempt to deliver the entire block.
I see dogs attacking some guy out here. Looks like a Duke Energy worker. We're trying to fight the dogs off. Me and a FedEx guy right now.
First at 4, an Amazon delivery driver's in the hospital after police say he was attacked by a dog in a Southwest Side neighborhood. It happened just after 11 this morning in the 200 block of McCarney.
San Antonio police said the dog was contained inside this fence. You can see the sign posted on the front gate, "Beware of the dog." But police say the Amazon delivery driver simply walked up to the gate when the dog jumped over the fence and attacked him.
There were 6,755 dog attacks on mail carriers nationwide in 2016, which was 200 more than 2015. Rain, sleet, hail, heat, or snow might not stop the mail from being delivered, but aggressive dogs will.
If we do have an incident, there's a possibility that we could curtail somebody's mail, that we wouldn't deliver their mail until the dog issue is addressed or they put their mailbox out on the streets.
911, what are you reporting?
Hi, I've been attacked by 5 pit bulls. I'm a UPS driver.
UPS driver Kevin Backlund was delivering a package to this gated property in East Puyallup last month when a pack of pit bulls attacked him. He jumped on the back of a flatbed trailer to try to get away from the dogs.
Are you back in your rig?
No, I'm trapped on a trailer. I'm bleeding profusely on my left leg.
The photos of the scene hint at how bad his injuries were. The incident report from Ording Valley Fire and Rescue said the driver was covered in blood on top of a small trailer 4 feet off the ground and had one of the pit bulls latched on his leg.
No one should have to deal with this. A wild moment for a mailman just trying to do his job. Take a look at this. Dogs not on a leash went on the attack, and the postal employee, as you can see, did what he had to do. He jumped on the first thing to keep himself safe. Luckily, he's okay physically, but the truck sustained some damage, which the Postal Service denied.
The dog that attacked an Amazon delivery driver on the south side yesterday has been put down. That's according to San Antonio Animal Care Services. And today, the 22-year-old victim speaks with our Zach Briggs, telling him he was afraid he was going to die.
At that point, once I started seeing blood and everything, it was going all over my shirt, my shorts, arms, everywhere. That's when I knew this dog was like literally trying to kill me.
22-year-old Jose Luis Rodriguez III, prepared to make an Amazon delivery Monday morning, found himself fighting for his life.
As I'm looking up, I just see a dog just jump over the fence. He attacked my elbow and then went straight to my face. All of a sudden now I'm just like trying to get him off me, and she's trying to take control of him.
Rodriguez jumped on top of a car to escape the attack as neighbors witnessed the chaos and the homeowner attempted to restrain the dog.
At 6, a bulldog attack leads to an amputation for a FedEx worker. This happened on Saturday in Calhoun County, about an hour and a half north of downtown St. Louis. 2 American bulldogs, which look similar to this, attacked a FedEx driver. He is recovering at a St. Louis area hospital. Doctors amputated his forearm. Calhoun County's sheriff says this is the worst bite case he has ever seen in his career.
New at 4:30, a man attacked while delivering a pizza. Flagler County deputies say the 76-year-old delivery driver was bitten by a dog. Body cam video shows deputies arriving at the home along Perkins Lane, right off I-95 in Palm Coast. News 6's Lauren Korn explains how this all unfolded.
I had a pizza guy come to my house, and my dog bit him.
Body camera video shows Napoli pizza delivery man, 76-year-old John Isles, bleeding from the face after deputies say a 5.5-year-old pit bull boxer mix named attacked him Thursday night.
He jumped up, that's all I seen. I don't know if he bit him, and scratched him.
Isles was taken to Orlando Regional Medical Center because of his severe injuries. Authorities saying plastic surgery could be needed.
A vicious dog attack sent a FedEx delivery driver to the hospital with serious injuries.
Fox News' Zara Barker has the story from Calhoun County, Illinois.
A FedEx delivery driver was delivering a package in a rural area in Campsville, Illinois, when tragedy struck.
I've never seen anything like this since my time here as sheriff. I mean, this is the worst I've seen.
Friday afternoon, a FedEx driver was making a delivery off Route 100 in northern Calhoun County when he was attacked by two American bulldogs.
The residence wasn't home, but the dogs ended up getting out of the house, unlatched the door, and I guess with being a stranger, with nobody home with the owners, they attacked the FedEx driver.
Sheriff William Heffington says the homeowners weren't home at the time the driver arrived. They came back within 30 minutes of the attack and found the driver outside their home. They called authorities and the driver was flown out to a St. Louis area hospital.
At 5, a local dog owner will not be punished after his dogs allegedly attacked a UPS worker making deliveries. People say it's not the first time those dogs have caused some serious damage. Ross Gadati has details on why the judge essentially decided he wasn't guilty.
Matthew Zavarella walked out of District Justice Helen Kistler's courtroom after being found not guilty on 3 summary counts related to a savage dog attack on UPS driver Amy Demi in August of last year. Zavarella's 3 attack-trained German Shepherds mauled Demi as the woman was delivering a letter to Zavarella's Penn Township residence. Miss Demi, first to testify about what happened, said, quote, "I pulled up and beeped the horn. The first dog came right at me. I said, oh my God. The dog ripped open my calf. It looked like a shark bite. The 2 other dogs followed. The attack felt like it went on forever." Demi went on to say, "I'm a letter, and that's my job." His job was to make it safe for a delivery person to get that letter to him. Today's proceedings, however, centered around Zavarella violating the state's dog containment statute. Animal Control Officer Gary Hoffman argued that Zavarella lost control of his dogs. But Zavarella's defense attorney argued the attack certainly was terrible, but Zavarella's animals were on the premises, and they never strayed from the property, and the containment statute was never violated. In the end, Judge Kistler ruled in favor of Zavarella. However, the matter is far from over. Lawyers for Amy Demi have filed a $50,000 negligence lawsuit against Zavarella. None of the parties wanted to comment after today's proceedings. All 3 of the dogs were put down by Zavarella after the incident. In Harrison Township, Ross Gadati, KDKA News.
It was supposed to be a routine delivery turned into a nightmare for a FedEx delivery man when 2 dogs escaped from a home and attacked him.
An Amazon delivery driver has part of his leg ripped off being mauled by a dog while delivering a package.
Authorities in Missouri are investigating after an Amazon delivery driver was found dead in the front yard of a home. The Ray County Sheriff says several neighbors called 911 because an Amazon van was parked on their street for hours. When his deputies arrived on scene, they discovered the body and also saw 2 dogs on the property.
We could hear them back in the house at that time. Noticed a dog door with blood on it.
The sheriff says he can't determine if the dogs caused the driver's death, but he did say they were aggressive toward his deputies and medical staff. Both dogs were killed at the home by law enforcement. A spokeswoman for Amazon released this statement on behalf of the company. "We are deeply saddened by tonight's tragic incident involving a member of our Amazon family and will be providing support to the team and the driver's loved ones. We are assisting law enforcement in their investigation. An investigation is ongoing." For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
New at 5, 3 weeks after a man died after being attacked by a dog, SAPD and Animal Care Services investigating another dog attack. An Amazon driver's daily route met with that unexpected surprise, a delivery driver attacked by a dog. Police say that attack happened shortly after 11 o'clock this morning on the city's south side as that 22-year-old Amazon driver was delivering a package to a house in the 230 block of McNary Street. Police describing the dog as an American Staffordshire Terrier. In the front yard of that home, was able to jump the fence and actually attack the delivery driver.
With that vicious attack involving a dog and mailman, the shocking video now going viral.
New tonight, Palm Coast Animal Control officers are trying to determine if a dog that attacked a 76-year-old pizza delivery man is in fact dangerous.
That dog.
More dog attacks
Good evening, I'm Jeannie Blaylock.
And I'm Anthony Austin. Amazon drivers are seeing an increase in dog bites, a problem the U.S. Postal Service has dealt with for decades.
4 days ago, this 61-year-old mail carrier, who'd only been on the job for a year, was mauled to death by a pack of dogs. Officials say the woman was out on her route in a small Florida town when her truck broke down. She got out, and authorities say 5 mixed-breed dogs escaped through an opening in the fence and launched a vicious attack. One neighbor even fired a rifle in the air to scare the pack, but the dogs wouldn't stop. Pamela Jane Rock died the next day.
Before some vulgar apologist tries to jump in to conjure up some total rubbish about how it must be the stressful shelter conditions causing these dogs to behave in such an abrasive and aberrant fashion, there are 2 important facts to keep in mind. 1. Again, other animals don't behave like this. They don't bark at everything they see, and even other canines capable of barking, in fact, do most of their barking as young pups. This juvenile behavior is not retained well into adulthood and old age, like it is in dogs. And apart from canines, barking in general is incredibly rare in the animal kingdom. 2. The second thing to know is that dogs behave exactly like this, no matter what environment they are in.
This week's video is Stop Dog from Barking Out the Window.
I've got a quick tip for you today on stopping your dog from barking at things or people going past out the front of your property.
Dog-originated aggression is a unique social bane.
This woman was just minding her own business when a pack of wild dogs went on the attack.
I hear the lady screaming, so I came out, but when I came, there was all the cops and rescue and everything.
2 dogs going on the attack outside a Little Havana home, leaving a Miami-Dade court services worker bloodied and in the hospital. Surveillance footage shows the worker walking up to serve an eviction notice Tuesday morning and then going inside the front gate. After briefly cutting out, the footage later shows the same worker falling to the ground as a pair of dogs pounce. That's when another woman who came from inside the house grabs a traffic cone to try and fend them off, the injured worker scrambling to safety inside her work car as the 2 dogs bolt back to their yard.
911, what's the answer?
Help me! Help me! Terrified and screaming for help. A Cooper City woman moments after a dog attack. That attack captured by her own dash camera.
All I can say was, help me, help me. I thought I was gonna die.
Deanna Riveros needed more than 30 stitches. And right now she struggles to walk after what happened to her on October 6th. She had just made a grocery delivery at a home in the 8200 block of Northwest 30th Street in Cooper City when she noticed a billing error.
So I went back to her house.
When the door opened, a dog pushed past its owner.
I see the video and I'm just like, I don't understand how I escaped.
She was knocked to the ground as the dog kept biting into her body.
I just look up to the sky and I say, God, please help me. And when I did that, the dog stopped.
She took off running back to her car, her phone damaged and her fingers bloody. She struggled to call for help.
Please help me. It's okay, honey. We got fire rescue coming.
Broward Sheriff Fire Rescue taking her to the hospital with bites in her leg, arm, and back. Now she's recovering at home, physically and emotionally.
No, see there.
Abbeville County man was in court today. He's facing charges after deputies say his dogs brutally attacked a woman.
That woman's family says she had to have both arms amputated.
Let's be very clear. One of the negative externalities of dog ownership is people losing their actual lives. Although sometimes they lose their ability to enjoy life for the remainder of their natural lives following a dog attack. And this is all happening because of herd consumer behaviours and questionable lifestyle choices, namely dog ownership.
Terrorized in Tarzana, people say a pack of dogs has them living in fear. Neighbors say the dogs belong to someone staying in an RV on their street. They say the dogs are turned loose every day.
The problem with dog ownership is that it's not something people can keep to themselves. I just read a comment that said, "I've never owned a dog but always have to hear them bark." That is an excellent point. If you go to a dog owner's house, you will likely get dog hair on your clothes, even if the dog is put away. But you don't have to go anywhere near the dog owner's property. They will bring their dog right to you, whether you want it or not. Or they will bring their dog to places you frequent, such as where you do your shopping and so on. They don't even stop to think about people with allergies. They don't care about health codes, and they don't consider the fact that many people don't want dogs anywhere near them. Not to mention, dogs are just so out of place in these environments that you just know these nutters are getting off on doing something they probably know deep down they definitely shouldn't be doing. Oddly, at least a couple of dog nutters have tried to tell me I'm not the, quote, king of the world. Or they have said other bizarre things that make it sound as if I am the one creating a problem, when in fact all of my content exists purely as a response to one. And it is the problem dog owners and supporters are creating all of the time. But I'm not the one imposing anything on anyone. People who never own dogs nor wish to be around them often have to encounter dogs anyway. They're forced to hear dogs barking, sometimes incessantly, and they are intruded upon by these tireless stench hounds in a number of ways. I've experienced this myself, time and again. And there are many accounts on various different online forums from many others who experience the same thing where they live. Dogs run up to us all the time, and this is partly because their nutter owners allow them to run free. But a lot of the time, it is also due to the fact that dogs are intrusive and won't even leave us alone when they're restrained. Or their nutter owners will falsely assume we want their dogs approaching us for any reason, when often people want absolutely nothing to do with dogs. Some of us don't want your dog to approach us for any reason. It's not like anything good can come from that scenario, where a dog is running up to you all of a sudden. Dog fanatics can't not impose their dogs on others. It isn't just about the nature of dogs, and the fact that we have to see and smell their foul waste in certain areas as well, but dog lunatics also can't stop talking about their dogs to anyone who will listen. Dog ownership isn't some private hobby that no one else has to know about now, is it? It would be one thing if it produced 0 fatalities or serious injuries and no inconveniences of any kind. But that's not the case. Now is it?
There's a reason nothing is being done to actually resolve the dog problem. The main barrier is people's thinking. The way people talk about dog attacks, and the way they attempt to rationalise and excuse them, is a major part of the problem. The following comment is a prime example. This is the kind of nonsense I have seen over 1,000 times in this line of work. In a nutshell, people refuse to view dogs as the direct, identifiable source of the very problems they themselves cause.
I'm sure you follow me. Welcome to the
anti-dog community.
Okay, now compare dog violence with people violence. How do we stack up as insane, out-of-control creatures? Many of the dog attacks are in fact created by humans who train and direct the dog to be vicious to other humans.
The first thing to note is that this is a distraction. Dog nutters frequently resort to this distraction tactic. They will attempt to get you talking and thinking about something other than dog attacks. In this case, the distraction is violence perpetrated by people. This would be like a murderer trying to point to a serial killer to distract you from his crimes. In reality, both are a problem. Let me put it in baby talk.
It's bad when humans attack, and it's bad when dogs attack as well. Do you understand, dog nutter?
It is also worth noting that human-on-human violence does not justify the presence of dangerous dogs in society. Just because something else also commits violence does not mean dogs get a pass. The second thing to take notice of is that the vast majority of humans are nowhere near as out of control as dogs. If humans behaved like dogs, they would be shunned, jailed, and institutionalized. A person who truly behaved like a dog would be reviled. They would be feared or loathed, and seen as a nuisance at best and a menace at worst. Because that is what dogs are. Finally, this assertion that dog attacks are created by humans is absurd on its face. Dogs attack because they have drives and instincts directing them to do so. And I have yet to see any evidence that a single recorded dog attack occurred because the dog was trained and directed to be vicious. Like dogs aren't already vicious absent human intervention. The very existence of training as a common method to make dogs be less violent, among other things, is proof that if anything, humans make dogs less likely to attack, not more. Which is not to suggest that training eliminates all dog-originated aggression. There's a reason I use this term dog-originated aggression. That is where it comes from dogs, not people, because clearly dogs are the ones attacking.
The next clip is a perfect demonstration of why we will never see any meaningful, long-lasting change with regard to dog-originated violence. The nauseatingly predictable stock responses, from reporters to online commenters and most of the people they interview, will never set the stage for meaningful change. They usually start by stating the obvious, that it is yet another tragic case. But they frame the entire thing as though it was some unforeseeable accident. Something that happens unexpectedly. Yet a single glance at one of these remorseless killers tells you all you need to know about the likelihood of such incidents, as does the frequent recurrence of said incidents. As things are now, what we have on our hands is a very intense social pathology. All we hear from these outlets is a chronic, pathological acceptance of an incredibly obvious social sickness. To make it abundantly clear, that social sickness is the very presence of these massive marauders. I don't care if it's Rottweilers, Pit Bulls and Pit Mixes, Mastiffs, Great Danes or anything else. These monetarily driven perpetual terror machines should no longer be viewed as acceptable house pets. Dog ownership is impossible to justify when it entails that people be allowed to own, basically, small hyper-aggressive mutant bears. The aforementioned pathology is largely unrecognised, and thus it remains unopposed. That is what we are struggling with. Getting everyone else to recognise something so obvious and basic that it is practically slapping them in the face. Going back to these news stories, it is astonishing how often they do the same exact song and dance. The same people who are reporting on a literal death or hospitalisation at the jaws of one of these killers will be very careful not to say anything to offend the dog-worshipping public. They always find a way to wriggle out of social responsibility, don't they? They will always say exactly what the dog-worshipping public wants to hear, rather than what actually needs to be said, so we will say it for them, and we will not mince words. The widespread sale, ownership, and public acceptance of these vicious killer dogs is contributing to a violent cultural element in our society, which undermines the basic principles of justice and security. These dogs heighten social instability, and dogs in general literally destroy local environments. In light of that, the deferential attitudes of these cowardly, paid-off pseudo-journalists is a sign of complete madness.